All right, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark, the number one stock market show on Spotify and one of the most popular market updates on YouTube. So, in this show, we're going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. Today's Thursday, February 2nd, and wow, it is fireworks in the markets after the Fed announced, as expected, a quarter point hike. And Powell acknowledged falling inflation. And then we also have earnings coming in strong. We have Peloton, AMD, and also Facebook, Meta are rallying on earnings beats. But can this last? And how are we trading these markets? So if this is your first time here, I'm Markus Heitkoetter. This super smart guy is my head coach, Markus, and we're real traders who trade live accounts. So therefore, we got a lot of trading experience, and we're showing you how we trade these crazy markets. So trust me, we know our stuff, and we're not afraid to tell you like it is. So if you're here and looking for some honest insights into the fascinating world of trading, you're definitely in the right place. And gosh, fascinating fireworks. So how do we describe these markets right now?
Fun.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. And okay, anyhow. So we got to talk about the Fed meeting yesterday first.
yeah. I mean, yesterday we wrap up the 2-day Fed policy meeting, and as we mentioned, that the quarter point hike was basically a guarantee, and that's exactly what the Fed did. But the wording with the statement and also the press conference were two things that could spark some volatility and movement in the market, and it did.
It did. And I listened to the press conference. I didn't hear the dovish comments that everybody else heard. But I thought he said pretty much what he said before, that yes, it's not done, that he's concerned about the low unemployment, that he wants to see that softening a little bit the labor market. He said they're expecting a couple of rate hikes, but again, the market is not buying it.
It's not, and if you look at the probabilities,
Yeah,
that
that's where I want to go.
there we go. That does not show what Powell said.
Right. Paul said clearly a couple of more hikes and that interest rates will remain high for quite some time. And what everybody else apparently heard is, oh, they're doing one more hike. And then at the end of the year, they're already lowering interest rates. I didn't, but hey.
But hey, traders liked what they heard, and the S&P now at 5-month highs. Marcus,
Marching towards my 4,500. Here we
yeah,
come. But let's take a look at a 5 minute chart of the Nasdaq yesterday just to see what happened. So this is where we look at yesterday, and we talked about it. There's first the FOMC statement where they say what they will do with a very, very brief explanation why. And then there's Powell's press conference. And in the first almost 10 minutes, this is where everybody said, okay, what is he saying here?
yeah.
But then during the Q&A, it was kind of up and away for the remainder of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you see that nice move higher, finishing near session highs, and the Nasdaq adding 2% yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
S&P, 1%. So a nice move, and that coupled with some more news led us to another nice move and follow through today.
Yeah, because if you look at today, the Nasdaq up almost 3% right now, S&P up 1.5%, the Dow moving lower. So opposite direction here for the Dow, interestingly enough.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where we have a risk on environment. The Dow has been more stable. It wasn't down as much last year, and this year it's been a little more quiet compared to the S&P and also the Nasdaq. And it seems like traders are now embracing growth again, thinking that okay, we might be at peak inflation, that's falling. Interest rates aren't going much higher, even though Powell said that we could see a few more hikes. Traders aren't buying that based on probabilities, and it looks like traders are seeing buying opportunities at this point, driving the market higher. But there could also be a little short covering, right? Some follow through from last year. People who were short, thinking we were going to test these lows, if you are short stocks and you need to get out, you need to be a buyer, which could also fuel some rallying as well.
Right. Now, we talked about it. This week is all about earnings and the Fed. So the Fed is out of the way and earnings are looking good. So, I mean, Peloton had a killer day yesterday. I mean, up, 16% yesterday. Peloton, who used to be the darling during the pandemic and then fell all the way down, seems to do better right now. I mean, still reporting a loss, but smaller than expected. And even today, up another 2.3%.
Yeah, didn't the CEO said he sees I think it was a mega comeback or something that got traders excited. Hey, maybe they come back. We'll
We'll
see.
see. But then also big companies, AMD yesterday, a great day yesterday. I mean, we were up, what was it yesterday? Like
Well,
12%.
yep.
Crazy. And today, taking on another 2.9%. So
Yeah,
AMD doing really well.
I cannot complain at all about that. That's helping my position. You got out of Nvidia. I traded AMD before you got into Nvidia, and AMD is starting to make a march back towards my cost basis.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and then we also have big tech reporting. So Meta reported earnings yesterday and is soaring right now, up 25%.
And honestly, I mean, this was the big news after the Fed really kind of shaking up the markets. I believe Meta announcing a $40 billion stock buyback. They also had a revenue beat. This got Bank of America excited, and analysts giving Meta an upgrade with 40% upside as a target from Wednesday's close. That is so.
Well, they're more
Pretty,
than halfway there.
yeah, pretty impressive move.
It definitely is. It definitely is. So the VIX trading dramatically lower. Yesterday, the VIX losing 8% this morning. I mean, now we are well below 20 and we are going back to the range that we see typically the VIX trading in. Didn't you say it's 17 and a half typically?
Yeah, and it's interesting because I took another look at this and I was curious what the average was over a 10-year period, which is 17.9, what the average is over a 5-year period, which is 21.3, and what the average is over a 3-year period, which is 24.7. No matter how you slice it, we are at lower levels than average. And honestly, I think maybe like the 5-year, 3-year look back, that gives us a little more of a more current or appropriate reference. So we are low in the VIX right now, which isn't too surprising because people are buying.
But yeah, exactly. Now let's take a look at our positions. And first of all, the Johnson and Johnson position that I opened on Monday, I was able to close it, or on Tuesday, I believe. I was able to close it yesterday with 80% of max profits. So I'm out of this one. This worked out really, really well. Same with Pfizer. I mean, Pfizer yesterday, the rally definitely helped. So I was able to close this at 80% of max profit. So these are two trades that worked out really, really well. So the other one, the Googles. And geez, I mean, what a jump today, up 6.6% in the wake of Facebook Meta, but reporting earnings today after the close.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if there's more follow through to this, or with this pre earnings boost. If we pull back a little bit after earnings, you're getting options premium is showing an expected move of about 5% in either direction, which is interesting, up to almost 112 or down to 102. So traders pricing in a lot of volatility here, expecting Google to move after earnings. But what a day for Google.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you have sold the 104 calls against your existing positions. I have sold the 108 calls against my existing position. And right now, with Google rallying and premiums are being elevated going into earnings, there's no way for us to roll this, right?
No, no, and that's the thing. When you're rolling, ideally, what you want to see is that the short call that you have that you've sold is actually decreasing and losing value, and then an option further out, you can sell that. So buy back the cheap one, sell one that has more value in the future. But because of earnings, that short-term call expiring tomorrow is still priced very high.
Yeah, so we will see. We might get called away here in Google after being in it for quite a while, or we might have an opportunity to roll tomorrow if Google disappoints with earning and falls back.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah. And then we have CTRA. CTRA also making a move higher today, up 2.3%. So this is where we got a sign at 26. So we're trying to sell covered calls against our existing position. And we can actually see if there's any possibility right now in CTRA to sell calls at 26 to get our 30% annualized, and not quite. The 25.50 would be possible. Let's actually take a look at next week. So next week at the 26, 23%.
A little light, yeah.
It needs to move a little bit more, but we are on the right track here.
Yeah, that's looking good. It was off to a slow start this morning, but since the slow start started to move higher, we're trading at session highs. I love this one to pop a little bit more, maybe get up to 25.50, and then we could get some nice premium on the 26.
Yeah. So today, definitely a day for selling calls with the Nasdaq being up 3%. Nothing really on the scanner here, which is not surprising because typically it's better to sell puts on down days and sell calls on up days. And that's what we are looking for today.
Hey, speaking of today, did you hear that yesterday Berkshire Hathaway's vice chairman, Charlie Munger, urged the U.S. government to ban cryptocurrencies?
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. He says that a lack of regulation has enabled wretched access and a gambling mentality. And so he urged the U.S. government to ban cryptos like China has.
Jeez.
I just found that was interesting. So that was a Wall Street Journal op-ed that he did yesterday.
Well, it doesn't seem to affect really cryptocurrencies
No.
this morning. Also today, Groundhog Day. And do you know that Phil, the groundhog, was only right 39% of the time? So not very predictable. It seems that we have better odds here with trading and our trades. All right. Anyhow, so if you would like to learn more about how we trade the markets, take a look at this video that we have here for you. And then we'll see you again tomorrow looking at Google to see if we can roll our calls or if we are getting called away. Have a great rest of your day.
Happy trading, everybody.